Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to today's tier list video. I'm going to be covering a bunch of decks that's going to be, I guess, getting support in the new Infinite Forbidden set. That's going to be legal for both NAWCQ and Euros. So I figured I put together my thoughts because I've been testing this format quite a lot in the, in the back end. And I figured I share some insights regarding each of these decks, as well as my thoughts overall on where I think these decks are going to be in terms of representation. So the first category we have is that it can win the NAWCQ or Euros, and it's going to be probably a majority top, which kind of like usually coincides. Like usually the decks that top the most have the highest chance at ultimately converting to the W. Playable some tops, so I think like the deck is not bad. Like I think you can definitely do well with it and definitely get top cut. Like, I don't think it'll be a huge representation, but if you want to, you definitely could make it. One spot in top 64 is like the roguelette decks. You're going to probably need a good run and a really, really good pilot to make it work. And the Edison side event, which is, you don't have to play NAWCQ. You don't have to play Euros. You could also play the Edison side event if you want. So I would not recommend entering with these decks or in this tier. Yeah, the tier list is going to be assuming that Closed Moon is being imported, just because I feel like it just makes the most sense. Because you know how they get, right? Like you know how Konami gets. They always make the most craziest powerful decks available. So that's my guess. But yeah, let's get right into it, right? So first on the left, we have Floowandereeze. Okay, so I think this deck is going to take maybe one spot in top 64 if you're really lucky, like super lucky. Honestly, it's close to Edison's side event, and the reason why is because of this new card coming out, Melt Chummy. Okay, Molt Chummy. So Molt Chummy, I think, is really going to make this deck unplayable, and Molt Chummy is really good into the Floowandereeze strategy, giving you probably like 4 or 5 draws to like really out whatever board the Flu deck puts up. So I think that as a result, this deck is going to be hindered quite a bit. So I would say like one spot, but it's like in between one spot and the Edison side event, to be quite honest. So that's kind of like my guess. And it's crazy because Molt Chummy works really well into Flu, not only because of the normal summons, but because of the fact that you can activate Molt Chummy under Shifter, which is for some reason allowed. But yeah, so that's my expectation for the Floowandereeze deck. No real support for this deck that's coming out. So the deck is still the same as it has been, and I don't even think it's a good meta call at the moment. Then you have, of course, Snake Eyes. I think we're going to talk about both. There's going to be like the regular Snake Eye deck, the Fiendsmith Snake Eye deck, and then the Kashtira Snake Eye deck. I think, of course, the best deck is going to be Fiendsmith Snake Eyes. I don't think this will take anyone by surprise. The Snake Eye cards work really well with the Fiendsmith cards because of the fact that you can make Beatrice. Beatrice can send any of the Snake Eye monsters, and then you can make Promethean Princess to reborn anything you send off of Beatrice. And I think the deck is a lot more resilient through hand traps than like the regular Snake Eye deck. So that's why I kind of like put it a little bit higher. But I would put them, they're all basically three different iterations of each other. I think any of one of these can do really well. And I think the thing is, if a lot of people can't take or get the Fiendsmith cards in time, they might just play pure Snake Eyes. They might just play Cash Snake Eyes. But the thing is, those versions of Snake Eyes are still very, 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 very good. So I wouldn't like completely say that like, oh, if you can't afford a Fiendsmith engine, it's like inherently a lot worse. But yeah, the Fiendsmith cards put up an Omni Negate in the form of I think Desare, and then the Kashtira and the regular Snake Eye decks put up a spell trap negate or a spell negate in the form of Hope Harbinger, right? So there's pros and cons for each of these, but I would put Fiendsmith Snake Eye as the strongest version if the Moonlink 2 comes out. But if the Moonlink 2 doesn't come out, then I think they're all on the same power level overall. yeah, so that's my thoughts. The Plant Link, I think this is a one spot in top 64. You know, like in Europe, this shit's probably gonna win, realistically. Oops, but you know, like from an NA point of view, like an Americana point of view, I would put Plant Link as one spot. I just think it's like not like the strongest deck that can utilize breakers. Like out of all the decks that can utilize breakers, the Plant Link deck isn't really that deck that can, you know, utilize breakers to the fullest. So yeah, and Jess isn't going to, you know, Euros this year, so you know, you already know Plant's not winning, right? So yeah, so I would say that like Plant Link probably one spot in top 64. You need a good run, very good pilot, and I can see it making top cut. So if that's your, you know, flavor, your choice of deck, then definitely, you know, play it if you like. But that's my thoughts. The reason why I'm not saying some tops is because I just don't see it like being a lot of players gravitating towards it. But there are new Ragnaraka cards. I don't even know how to say it. Ragnaraka. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's new support for that archetype coming out. So I'm sure it probably makes the Plant Link deck a little bit better. Or Ragnaraka, right? Ragnaraka. So there's like the new Link 3 that's coming out. They have like the new trap card, the like Snatch Steals, or I think they have the trap card, the Snatch Steals. So yeah, so that's kind of like my thoughts on it. Oh yeah, people are telling me it's not playable in plants. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really test the plant deck that much, guys. So I'll have to be quite honest here. My information on how good the Plant Link deck is kind of limited. But yeah. Anyways, Yubel Fiendsmith, bro. Honestly, I think this is the second best deck of the format. I think this deck, of course, we'll put regular Yubel here too. I think yo, someone was like, plants aren't real. We're fire. Anyways. Because you know fire burns plants. Okay, whatever, guys. I hate everything. Okay, so I think the Yubel Fiendsmith deck is stronger than the Snake Eye Fiendsmith deck when it goes first. The reason why I say this is because the Yubel Fiendsmith deck pushes through more hand traps with the inclusion of Phantom of Yubel. I think Phantom of Yubel really like is like one of the craziest custom cards I've ever read, to be quite honest with you guys. And I think as a result, it's gonna push through like hand traps way more when it goes first, like way better than the Snake Eye deck in my opinion. And I'm trying to see if I can show you guys some Phantom of Yubels that I recently just, you know, picked up, because I know you guys like the shiny. But yeah, I think Phantom of Yubel is gonna be really good. And of course, look what I got for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Always gotta be strapped. Alright, guys? Always gotta be strapped. So anyways, that deck is gonna be really solid. Phantom of Yubel just makes this deck play through infinite hand traps. When you open like Nightmare Throne, the deck just feels like a whole nother deck. And I also like the fact that the Fiendsmith cards work really well with Yubel, in the sense that, you know, the Fiendsmith cards are all fiends, so they can make Yama really easily. And yeah, so I would put it as like the second best deck of the format. And then obviously there's regular Yubel without Fiendsmith, but I think that's a lot worse. I would put that as playable some tops. Like I honestly think it's a huge power difference between Fiendsmith Yubel and regular Yubel. You know, so that's just my thoughts personally. Then you have Fiendsmith Chimera. I actually think this deck is kind of nasty. I want to put it as like playable some tops, just because I think yeah, honestly guys, Yubel without Fiendsmith is actually so bad. It might actually be one spot, no cap. Like you might get the one budget player like creeping in, no cap. It's actually that much worse. But yeah, Fiendsmith Chimera I would put as playable some tops. Because if you guys have been paying attention to the new Fiendsmith cards coming out, Fiendsmith Sequentia can summon Baphomet. It can actually, it's a Link 2 that can fusion summon any fiend monster, and one of the Fiend monsters is Baphomet. So the fact that the Fiendsmith engine allows you to get access to Baphomet, which is part of the Chimera engine, just, you know, like synergizes like really cleanly. I think like you're gonna need a really good pilot to play this, so it might not even get some tops. I might get one spot just because of how hard it is to play, and I don't think the Chimera deck is that popular. A lot of people just don't really gravitate towards it, so I would put it here. I'll put Chimera Illusion in the same. It's like they're basically the same deck, except Fiendsmith cards overtake some of like the Chimera engine, because, you know, it still makes the deck pretty consistent. Then you have Fire King Snake Eyes. I honestly think this deck is way worse than the pure deck, to be quite honest. I would put it as playable some tops. I know some people, like, they're just attached to Fire King cards, and so they'll probably play it with Fire King cards, but it is definitely way worse than all versions of regular pure Snake Eyes. Like, I'd rather have a cash card than a freaking Ponix, no cap. You know what I'm saying? Like let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Like, I literally rather have a Unicorn over a Ponix, like, or Island. But if Okonix comes out, the Fire King deck, yo, put that shit up here, no cap. But I don't think it's coming out. But if Okonix comes out, which is in Master Duel right now, then yeah, this would be, I think, like, really, really solid. But I think without it, I'm assuming it doesn't come out. I haven't heard any info about it at all, so I'm gonna put it, like, you know, playable some tops right now. Tearlaments. So, okay, when we say Tearlaments, guys, I forgot to include this in here, but Tearlaments Fiendsmith, okay? Because obviously, Tearlaments cards work really well with Fiendsmith cards, because Beatrice, who would have thought, is really, really good. Too bad that still makes this deck unplayable. I'm sorry, guys, this deck is still dog water. Like, no kizzy. It's just like, how do I explain it? Like, you have a deck full of one-offs, bro. Like, I feel like maybe you can win when you go first. Like, sack people here and there. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, well, like, I actually don't know how this deck ever wins going second at all. Like one Appaloosa is GG. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's keeping it real. Like, yeah, it just doesn't really have a game plan. Like, just like doing Beatrice. There's no Kelbeck, no Keldo. There's no Kelbeck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not as good. Diabellestar Rescue-Ace. It's just like one of the... I think this deck has fallen a lot of out of popularity. Maybe one top. Maybe one. Like, maybe one. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe one. Because the thing with this deck is that it's really, like, fallen out of popularity, but it's also not as good as, like... It has too many Garnets. Like, at least the Garnets in, like, the Snake Eye decks is, like, way stronger, right? Like, opening your original or, like, your field spell is, like, way stronger. But yeah, like, I think, like, maybe it could be kind of neat, but I would put it, like, as one spot, to be honest. Melodius, I think, is really nice. This deck, I would say, playable with some tops. Like, I've seen Melodius been really creeping up in the regional scene, and it's definitely a deck that, like, requires a really solid pilot. But I think we can all agree, when they add on, like, the Baguska board with Baka and Etoile, the game's over on the spot. Like, I actually don't know how you can win. And the thing with Melodius, too, is that, like, Herald of Orange Light, if they sack you with, like, the Herald of Orange Light, like, they draw, like, the extra fairy with it, that shit is, like, so broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really do think the Melodius engine is, like, really, really strong. And I think that, like, it's honestly one of, like, the stronger decks in the format. I know Josh played it as well for his German Nats, and he was doing really solid with it. And yeah, like, I actually do, like, I do, like, rate this deck pretty high. Like, I think this deck is really good. I actually have the deck myself. And I think I was thinking about playing it to locals, guys. You guys want to see me play locals with this deck? Maybe let me know in the comments. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Melodius is, like, a really, really solid deck. We have Tenpai Dragon, guys. So this deck is, I think, the third best deck. No cap. I think Tenpai with this is Nats format, right? So, like, Tenpai with the new trap card, with the new trap card, with the new, they have a Poplar. I forgot what the name of it's called. They also have a new normal summon. Yeah, Genroku. Yeah, that shit is busting. No cap. And the thing is, like, Yeah, Pokey. I think, is it called Pokey? Like Pokemon? What's the normal summon called? I forgot. But there's like that normal summon monster that literally does like the full combo, sets the trap, everything, and it OTKs like Dora Draco. Yeah, Dora Draco by itself with the field spell OTKs you through everything. It doesn't matter. Like, it's actually so insane. I actually think this deck, like, didn't this deck go to Worlds already in South America? It got second place, I think, or Central America. I think it got second. It got second or first at Central America. I think it got second. So I think at the Central America WCQ, it literally got second, and that's without the new support. And I really do think that, like, by the time Nats rolls around, this deck is scary. Bro, you can definitely get sacked by this shit. Like, no cap. So I will put that here. But yeah, like Beatrice and Rise to full hype. But the thing is, they play so many hand traps, it might not even resolve, right? And so, like, it's scary. Like, the Tenpai deck has like 21 non-engine, I think, 22, which is a lot, because it's more than even Snake Eyes evens, right? So I think that's the thing. Brandon Despia, yo, no cap, bro, might be the best deck. Yo, guys, I might win Nats with Brandon Despia. What do you guys think? I'm trolling. Copium. Okay, I think this is like, I would play playable some tops. Playable some tops. I have to be a little bit realistic. I think this deck is mad hard to play. But I think it's one of the strongest fusion decks like ever. Give your opponent full Gimmick Puppet the full combo. Y'all don't, bro. I already know all the people saying that stuff they don't know how to play Branded Despia, bro. Because the thing with Despia is that, like, you never puppet lock in draw phase or standby phase. You always wait for main phase 1 unless you know specifically the mirror. And as a result, you get to see if they're playing actual Gimmick Puppet. If they are, then you just don't puppet lock them. You just have 8 disruptions for fun, right? So, like, I think, like, it doesn't, like, people were saying Branded Despia might be worse because Gimmick Puppet, like, the actual Gimmick Puppet deck will be in the game. Like, don't actually play Despia because they don't realize that, like, you never puppet early. You never do that. So you always wait for main phase 1. You always see what they're playing. You never send puppet on your own turn unless you open, like, a 3-card combo, in which case, like, it doesn't matter. So I think it's fine. Like, I think Branded Despia is, like, insane. And if people play breakers in the format, the Despia deck can definitely just win, because this deck, like, plays through every board breaker in existence. Like, I think I got Cosmic Dropleted, like, Impermed, like, you know what I'm saying, Snake Eye Ash, Witch, and I still puppet lock. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's not even my fault. Like, the deck just puppet locks you through everything if you do it properly, of course. But I think the thing with Despia, though, is that it's limited by its player base sometimes. Sometimes I think, like, if you want to play for, like, the Nats or Euros, you really got to put in a lot of effort and time to, like, be really proficient with it, because I think that's the only thing that can, like, hold you back. And you have to keep in mind, Nats is always 12 rounds. So if you're playing, like, a 12-round YCS or 12-round, you know, Nationals, then, you know, it's going to require a lot of, like, brain power, stamina. So you have to factor that into account, too, when you play a deck that requires a lot of your brain, you know what I'm saying? So that's, like, my only caveat about the deck. That's why I put it as playable some tops, because, you know, you got to really work for it. But I do think that, like, if there's 4 or 5 Despia players in the NEWCQ top cut, like, I would not be surprised at all. This deck is definitely very, very scary. Vanquish Soul, like, maybe Santoli? I don't know, like, maybe Santoli, if he wants to, like fuck around. Like, I'll put it as one spot for him. But this deck is really ass, guys. I'm sorry. Like, it's just unplayable, no cap. Purrely, I think it's one spot, bro. Maybe, I don't know. One spot. Like, I actually think this deck is pretty bad compared to, like, a lot of the other decks in the format. But I would say it's, like, one top, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, guys, like, you know what's really cool with Purrely is that it can use the Fable Lori, when it's discarded, can summon itself back. But the thing is, all your Purrely spells can discard the Fable Lori. So you would play 3 Fable Lori. So Purrely Fiendsmith could be the goo. That's all I'm saying. Purrely discarding Lori is full combo. That's all I'm saying. Look, I might have said too much. Guys. You know what I'm saying? So I would put this at, like, one top. Salamangreat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Raging Phoenix isn't for the Salamangreat deck. Hope you guys know that. Raging Phoenix is for the Snake Eyes deck. It's a Snake Eyes card. It's Snake Eyes Raging Phoenix. No cap. You know? Unchained. So, okay, let me see if I can pull up Unchained with Fiendsmith. I don't think it's on here. Okay, so, guys, let's assume it's Unchained with Fiendsmith. I know it doesn't specifically say it, but if you're watching the video all the way through, then good for you, because then you would hear what I'm talking about. I think Unchained with Fiendsmith is actually, like, playable some tops. Like, no troll. Because so Unchained loss, what did it lose? It lose 2 Shavara, correct? But the Fiendsmith cards are 5 new... It's like, what? The 3 Fiendsmith monsters, and then the quick plays. Not the quick play, the Tractus. And the Fable Lori. So all those cards... all those extra Fiendsmith cards make the regular Unchained deck so much more broken. And what's really cool is if you open Fiendsmith cards, you can do the old Unchained combo where you add Shavara to your hand and you use the Fiendsmith cards to make Caesar. So I actually think that like Unchained with the Fiendsmith cards can put up a nasty board that also plays around board breakers, and Unchained historically has been very resilient through the Mourners, the Veilers, the Impermanences. So I think Unchained with Fiendsmith is actually really, really insane. Yeah, Fiendsmith is Caesar and Yama by itself. Like, need I say more? You know what I'm saying? So I do think that I would not sleep on Unchained. I definitely do think that it's playable and it can definitely get some tops. Like, the Fiendsmith engine is so broken in that deck, guys. Because, like, and I think you would probably play, like, multiple spells, multiple Fiendsmith monsters. It's just really, really strong overall. So this is more of an Unchained deck with Fiendsmith, so you would play more Unchained cards. Like, you would play 3 tour guides. You would play like, you would play like, all the, the Sarama, the Rakea, all that stuff, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Fiendsmith guys, the Fiendsmith engine is like the new Brave engine. It's just too broken. Like, I mean, who would have thought Beatrice plus a Freeling 2 is busted? Like, what can I say? And what's really cool is that Thrust in the Unchained deck is insane, because it's either Tractus for Fiendsmith engine, or it's a bomb prison for the Unchained engine. So like the fact that Thrust is both Fiendsmith engine and Unchained engine is just too insane. Like, I really do think the Unchained deck is so much stronger now, and I'm looking forward to actually playing this deck. And guys, the list is assuming we're getting the Moon Goddess, because even if, like, I'm assuming we're getting it just because I'd rather be on like the safe side of assuming we're getting it than not. So yeah. Yo, what's good, Gage? You're broken back. Thank you, bro. Centur-ion. So I want to assume this is like Whitewood Centur-ions, because I think that's like the better version of the deck, to be quite honest. I want to say like 1 spot. I think it's kind of doggy water, but I do think that like some guy will like get a really nice run with the Whitewood Centur-ion deck, and I can definitely see them topping. But one, like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe the one person, like it'll be like it'll be Toy Whitewood Centur-ion. And so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Vaalmonica, guys. Unfortunately, Edison's side of it. Unfortunately, it's not really my fault, guys. I know I'm hyped for this deck. I've been trying to make it work, and the reason why you haven't seen me put anything out is because I tried, and this shit is ass. Unfortunately, okay. I'm just keeping it real. It hurts, but yeah. I think Vaalmonica is really sick. It's getting some new cards, but guys, I promise you, no copium. It will be better soon. We just need some more support, okay? We just need a little bit more support. It will be broken soon. Okay, it's gonna get the Purrely treatment, I promise. Just a little bit more. just a little bit more, okay? It has a Light Fiend, but the issue is the Light Fiend is the Link 1, which is the boss monster of the deck. So it's like, bro, am I really gonna link a boss monster away to summon the new Link 1, bro? Like, I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be good in Master Duel. Hey, it might be good in Master Duel. I'm not arguing that, okay? But I'm saying that, guys, in this, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying. Memento, honestly, guys, playable some tops, okay? Memento is gonna, I think I think this deck is gonna catch a lot of players off guard, bro. This deck is nice. I think now with the new support, definitely can catch some people, and give them backies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Memento is really good. They're getting the new card, which is like the sheep, Memento sheep, which is insane because now the deck can actually do something with just the seahorse, and I think like the interruptions of Mementos is very unique. There's not a lot of like. There's the interruptions it puts out is like very resilient through a lot of like breakers, in my opinion. It also has like the trap, which is like 5 Appaloozas, is like crazy. So I think Memento is like really solid. I actually would be, and I know like this is a deck that has been getting a lot of hype recently. If you look like just like one of the things I like to do to kind of like determine what decks are gonna be popular is like I look at like TCG Player and I look at like the market trends, because if a lot of people are buying Memento cards, that means that a lot of players are looking to play that for the next for Nats. So I like to look at the market trends, and you can see that like a lot of Yubel cards have been bought out, a lot of Memento cards have been bought out, like some of the Chimera cards are getting bought out because people are just hyped to play this deck and they want to play it, and I do think it's actually good enough to be played. So I think Memento is going to be definitely up there for sure. Voiceless Voice, another like, how do I put it? Like, it's a regional deck in my opinion. It's like the best regional deck, but it's just safe. It's just a comfort pick. I think Voiceless Voice is gonna be what people want to play when they don't want to play Fire, right? I don't think it's that good, but I think it's one of the most broken decks when it goes first. It's just a safe deck. Yeah, it's just a safe deck. Like, but it is one of the most broken decks when it goes first, in my opinion. So yeah, I put it at like playable some tops. Drytron is just ass. I'm saying like these type of like crazy combo decks that can't really go second. It's just never good enough, unfortunately. Labrynth, one spot, maybe for Ryan if he comes out of retirement. I don't know. Like, I think Lab is like one of those decks that like can like, because like if you guys were watching the nationals that were occurring in Europe, Lab I think won one, right? Didn't Lab like win one of them? Or like got second? Yo, some guy was playing like the linear equation thing, and that shit was crazy, low key. That guy was on some goo. So I actually think Lab could like definitely do something, Lab Fiendsmith, yeah, Lab Fiendsmith, Unchained, Wombo combo. I think Lab is definitely not to be slept on. It plays around some hand traps really nicely. It can definitely steal some tops, yeah. Lightsworn, ass. Like, unfortunate. Maybe Lightsworn Centur-ion, like maybe, but yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Like, and then there's like also Fiendsmith Lightsworn, because like the link one is like a Fiendsmith, it's like a Light Fiend. Maybe, honestly, maybe I don't know. Maybe I actually could believe in it. I could see it. This shit could sack you. Fiendsmith Lightsworn is kind of broken, actually. Like, if your deck has Fiendsmith cards, I gotta say you probably will get a top. Like, maybe one person will get a top with it. So I'll put it there. Kashtira, another one top deck. Some people love Pure Cash. It's very popular. Shifter is good, So, Birth is crazy right now. Birth is insane. Birth is really good into the Fiendsmith engine. So I would put it up there. So Ice Barrier, I know I have Ice Barrier here. I'm not sure if this is like, if I categorize this as like Ice Barrier Sprite or Runick Ice Barrier. But I think for the purpose of this video, we're gonna call it Ice Barrier Sprite, like Sprite Ice Barrier. Because I know it's not a lot of Ice Barrier cards, but I think like Swap Frog with the Sprite Blues, and like being able to add on Toad consistently now is really, really strong. The deck just eats, like, you already know Sprite cards beat hand traps like nothing. And I think Ice Barrier with like Sprite cards could actually make it into top cut, like one person. Because I think it is really nice. Ritual Beast, yo, playable some tops, guys. Yo, do not sleep on this deck. Some guys just went to Worlds off Ritual Beast, actually. I believe in South America playoffs. This guy from, where was he? He's from Trinidad, or I forgot where. But he just got a trip to Worlds, bro. And he played Ritual Beast. Okay, so but yeah, but Ritual Beast is a really, really good deck. Really, really good deck. It also won the Trinidad and Tobago WCQ. Like, I think Ritual Beast has a couple things going for it that I can kind of explain. First, if people decide to play Breakers, the deck is really solid into it, because it has access to cards like Protos. And Protos can pretty much call like any attribute you really want. It can play some of the best hand traps in the game, like Shifter, some of the best floodgates, such as Dimensional Barrier, not Dimensional Barrier, Dimensional Fissure, right? Fissure, Di-Fi. It can play Di-Fi. It can play, you know, Drain. Like, yeah, it can really like, and I think like a lot of people don't really know what it does. And the thing with Ritual Beast too is that it plays around. Shifter makes the combo better because Rapengu becomes a 1-card combo under Shifter. And the thing is, the Ritual Beast cards beat Impermanence and Veilers like its job, like for free. And Mourner does absolutely nothing, because like, you know, Elder gives you an additional normal summon, so you can't really Mourner the Kind of Hawk. And when they try to Mourner you just tag it out, you know what I'm saying? So this deck, it plays through the effect negations really well. I think it struggles around against like Nib and like Droll, but cards like Shifter just cooks it, you know what I'm saying? So I do think Ritual Beast is gonna cash some tops for sure, like probably 3, 4, 5, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do have this deck on the radar. Genex, you imprint the link 1, your opponent just like delete, like they just delete their deck. You have to play Soravis and Crossout and hope to God that this link 1 resolves. If it does, you beat everything. But you never, yeah, it's just booty cheeks, yeah. Infernoids. I gotta put one top. Maybe if Billy Break comes out of retirement, that's it. Maybe if Billy comes out of retirement, I think that's the only hope this deck has. That's the only hope. Like, I think that's it. Like, maybe if like Billy comes out of retirement and he doesn't commentate. That's it. If he doesn't commentate any WCQ and he ends up playing the event and just pulls out with Infernoids, he might actually cook. No cap. Other than that, bro, nah, you're not him. You know what I'm saying? Gimmick Puppet, yo, honestly, playable some tops, bro. It's just like a degenerate deck. Like, it's just a degen deck. Like it's basically Tenpai if Tenpai went first. Does that make sense? It's like a going first Tenpai deck, but this deck is so unplayable at going second. So I think that like it's like it's just like a Tenpai deck that FTKs you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's the inverse of Tenpai. Tenpai is really good at going second, but ass at going first. Gimmick Puppet is really good at going first, but really ass at going second. So it's like a reverse of Tenpai, but it's still a degenerate deck. Like, if they open the field spell, you're getting FTK'd. Like, no cap. So I want to say like it's probably playable, and there's some degens out there. Like, there's some degens out there that like they just want to like ruin people's lives. And so I think Gimmick Puppet is gonna be a deck that you know, that is gonna be really solid. I definitely do think that the cards quality that the deck receives support wise is absurd. Like, for instance, the new Gimmick Puppet Martha is literally so custom. They have the field spell, which is basically the Tenpai. It's basically like the Tenpai field spell. They have the new Xyz that adds the rank up spell. They have the new rank 9 that's literally a pop, and it adds the trap that snatch steals everything. I think that like if you're playing a board breaker deck, the Gimmick Puppet deck is gonna be your worst matchup. It's the scariest matchup by far. So yeah, that's my thoughts. You have Centur-ion Whitewoods. So I would put this here. Like, I just combine them in one. I think regular Centurion's ass, so I'm just put this here and then replace it with Centur-ion Whitewoods. I think Centur-ion Whitewoods with the toy cards are nasty. I think with Runick Whitewoods could be good. Maybe, you know, it's honestly a Joshua Schmidt deck. Like, I don't think this deck is kind of ass, no cap. But hey, look, I'm sure that Josh will, you know, queue some Runick cards again, enter Zeros, qualify for Worlds again, even though he's going for Master Duel. It's just Joshua Schmidt experience. So what can I tell you? Like, I have to, out of respect, just put one spot in top 64 here. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really my fault? Not really. It's just like Josh just puts Runick cards in all his decks. Like, it's not really my fault. I have to put this on here. So it's just one spot for sure, bro. It's just one spot for sure. Like I said, it's not really my fault, bro. Regular Whitewoods, unplayable. It's just unplayable. Light and Darkness branded. Honestly, guys, it's kind of ass. I don't think it's as good as regular branded. Because I don't really want to cut any of the extra cards to play this Light and Darkness Dragon. Like, it's just not as good, guys, honestly. Like, if you're trying to summon Light and Darkness Dragon, just go play Edison. You know, like, play the Frognark deck. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the Treeborn Frog. Tribute Summon for actual Lad. Like, this shit's just really ass right now. Like, I just wouldn't play it otherwise. Millennium, ass. I think as an engine is good. But this shit's ass otherwise. Fiendsmith Musket, ass. Like, you would think it's good because it has Light Fiends, but it's just ass, guys. Like, imagine trying to go second, bro. Like, no one's trying to do that right now. If you're not playing Tenpai, do not tell your opponent you can go first. Please. Please, do not do that. You know what I'm saying? Madolche, yeah, honestly, one spot. Guys, they got some crazy support cards. The Link 3 and the new Rank 5 is legitimately custom. I don't even know. It got really good support. Like, it got the new Tiramisu. It got the new Tiramisu that it finally puts up a nice interruption. The fact that, like, it can, like, non-target shuffle 2 on your opponent's turn is insane. And then it has a Link 3 now, which can add literally anything. It can add any Madolche card. But yeah, the new Tiramisu being a quick effect is crazy. So I think that, like, the deck actually can, like, if you end on, like, the quick effect shuffle plus, like, Promenade, plus the Graveyard Manipulation. Because the Graveyard Manipulation from Madolche is a really good interruption next format. Because you can shuffle back all the Light Fiends in your opponent's graveyard, so it turns off all their Fiendsmith engine. And then shuffling is a really strong removal, right? Like, if you destroy Poplar and if they, like, attach it back into the Spell and Trap Zone, it's, like, not that great. But the fact that you can spin back your opponent's Flambirds, spin back your opponent's Witches, spin back your opponent's Poplar, like, it's just a really good, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, shuffling is, like, a really good interruption. And yeah, of course, yeah, you have Glass Souffle making Tiramisu unaffected so that you can't die. So, like, the really cool part about the Madolche deck, that when you go first, you make it so that you just can't die. And as long as you don't die and you can get to the next turn, it's kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? So I think this deck is definitely one spot. The reason why I say one spot is because, like, I do see that the deck has some inherent weaknesses still. But maybe someone can prove me wrong and maybe get more tops with it. But I think maybe one spot in top 64, yeah. Virtual World, you know what I'm saying? This shit, we're not in 2022 no more. You know what I'm saying? Not 2024 no more. She's unplayable. Marin says, unplayable. Dragon Link, unplayable. Runick for High, unplayable. Strat Striker, unplayable. Millennium, somehow some guy went to Worlds off Millennium. I don't know. Look, if you know what I'm saying? Watch out for Yubel. No. I have Yubel Fiendsmith as, like, can win. But if you play Yubel without Fiendsmith, it's ass. Like, it's ass. It's, like, almost like playing with, like you're handicapping yourself. So I think Yubel with Fiendsmith is fire. Regular Yubel, no Fiendsmith? Bro, I don't know what you need to do, but you gotta start saving now, okay? Just start saving now. Like, ask some friends to borrow some money. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Get the Fiendsmith cards, okay? I'm just trying to help you out. Heroes? Like, this shit ain't no Team Sam video, no cap. Shout out to my boys, I'm trolling. Dalmorphia, ass. Ray Raptor, ass. Orcus, ass. Goldie, ass. Thunder King, ass, okay? Like, okay, Colossus is probably the best in the Ritual Beast board. That's it. Okay, but anyways, this is my thoughts overall on the tier list. I hope you guys, you know, let me know your thoughts. You guys agree, disagree? You know what I'm saying? A little different kind of categories instead of tier 1, tier 2. You know, trying to switch it up, because hopefully this makes more sense. So when you guys get to finally deciding what deck you want to play, I think this is where I'm kind of like at. I've played a lot of these decks actually, so I'm not talking out my ass, I promise. I've played a lot of these decks, and definitely by far, guys, Snake Eyes is still the best deck unless a Miracle ban list just gets dropped. Yubel, Fiendsmith, and Tenpai is gonna be the next, you know, I think the second, third best decks, and then of course you're gonna have some playable decks. Probably get a couple tops here and there if you're nice with it. But yeah, that's my thoughts overall. And yeah, don't forget to comment. Let me know if you guys want more videos like this. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.